What is wrong with it's a scientific terminology?
It has nothing to do with what we're talking about.
We could change that.
I don't want to change that.
Who wants to talk about? We're good. We're on a tight schedule.
Oh, now we're serious.
I got apps to write. All right, ready?
We had everything going against us.
Yeah, we were young. We were broke. We didn't know anything about business. We literally started from nothing.
We were never supposed to make it.
What's up, guys?
What's up? Welcome back.
Welcome to episode number 36.
Yes, episode number 36 of
Win Anyway.
There we go.
Fired up. Hey, thank you guys for all your support. Instagram support, shares, story shares, reposts. We love to see that you're actually watching the show. Mm-hmm. So when you put on your story of you watching it for a date night, that fires us up. We think you're kind of weird because we wouldn't even watch our own show. I'm just kidding. But
of course we would.
But no, we actually appreciate it. You know, it means a lot to us. Comments on YouTube telling us what topics you want us to cover.
Yes.
And just comments in general. It helps the algorithm. It helps us boost. Helps us win anyway.
Yes.
And so, anyhow. No, we appreciate you guys. All the love and support means a lot. And today, we've got a topic that I think will help you out a lot. And that is how to challenge your teammates.
Yes.
Episode 36.
Yes.
Boom.
So this is part of being being a leader, running your own.
My job's done here.
The intro, the edification, he just dropped it, and now he's gonna go. I don't know. Run an appointment.
That's right.
So I already lost my train of thought.
Totally threw her out.
So challenging your team. This is something you need to master if you are planning on building any sort of organization, just period. Even if you're not in our industry, you know, people need to feel like they're being challenged because ultimately people want to know that they're growing. Nobody wants to stay stagnant for the next 40 years. And so this is really, really important. And there's a way that you should do it and there's a way that you shouldn't do it. Because a lot of you guys, and even, you know, for me personally in the beginning of, you know, my career here, I did it wrong sometimes. I spoke to everybody the same, and some people it really hit and they were like, yeah, they felt challenged and they felt motivated to work harder. And other people, they curled up in a little ball and they're like, why are you being so mean to me?
Right.
So there's definitely, you know, a way to do it. And there's a way not to do it. So that's what we're going to talk about today.
We've got like 5 to 6 points that we're going to cover with you on, I guess, kind of what Ronnie called the art of challenging your teammates. Before we cover that, though, let me tell you something. Why do you want to challenge them? That's important for you to know. And I want to ask you that because a lot of us want to challenge our team because we're sitting around hoping our team retires us. That's not going to work. That's not the right mentality. So we're going to go through how to do it correctly. But number one is that you got to have a relationship with them.
Yes.
You can't challenge somebody that you don't have a relationship with. You can't challenge somebody that doesn't believe you have their best interests at heart. You can't challenge somebody that thinks all you want to do is make money off of them. You can't challenge them if they don't think you actually genuinely care.
Yeah.
So that's number one, is there's got to be a relationship. Now, how do we establish that relationship where a challenge is welcomed in that relationship?
I think you have to get to know the person because for me, a challenging people isn't like you mentioned, like, oh, I want to make more money. I want my business to grow faster. Although that is a result of challenging people. That's one of the products of doing that. For me, it's I know my teammates' goals. I know that I've gotten to know them. So I know that they have families, or I know they want to take care of their parents, or I know that, you know, they want to have a better lifestyle. And so for me, it's really important for me to see that happen because that's the most fulfilling part is seeing them hit their goals and them accomplish their whys.
Right.
And me knowing that I'm coming from a place where I care about you. You know, I love you. I want to see you win and I want to see you make progress because ultimately I know that's what's going to make you happy. And I feel like that your team needs to know that that's why you're doing it.
And you do that by having a conversation with them. Up front, hey, do you want strong leadership or do you want weak leadership? Strong leadership means I'm going to push you. I'm going to expect something out of you. I'm going to challenge you. When you're not here, I'm going to call you and be like, yo, where are you at? Strong leadership means that when you're at 0, I'm going to be like, dude, why are you at 0?
Yeah.
What are you doing? Why aren't you working? What's going on? What's the problem? What's the distraction? Let me see your calendar. Strong leadership means that I'm gonna make you a little bit uncomfortable sometimes. I'm going to call you and be like, yo, where are you at for the month? You know, I got a girl on the team. I call her all the time. Where are you at for the month? Where are you at for the month? Where are you at for the month? And she was doing some other stuff before. She was distracted. I think she got caught up in 75 hard, and that's what she was doing all day instead of the business. And then I started pushing her, and I had an important conversation with her where I said, hey, are you trying to do this, or what are you trying to do? Is this going to work? Do you want this? What happened? You were crushing it during Elite Circle. Now you're doing nothing. Now, well, you know, coach, I'm going through. I'm like, no. Hold on a second. Who are you spending your time with? Who are you talking to every day? Why don't I ever hear, I talk to my trainer every day. I'm like, hold on a second. Do you want $100,000 advice or do you want $500,000 advice? We need to talk every day. Every day we need to talk. You know, and I started to push her, and I kind of came down on her and like kicked her butt a little bit on the phone. But ever since that day, I'm constantly challenging her. But she knows that I care, and we established that relationship where that's okay. And now she's picked up 6 directs in the last 5 days. You know, and I'm not going to say it's because I'm challenging her, but people rise to the standard that you set. But a conversation of do you want weak or strong leadership gives you permission to now challenge them.
Yes, absolutely.
If you don't have that conversation, you just call Ronnie and yell at her one day. She's like, what the hell?
Yeah, I mean, would you keep answering the phone if every time you every time you answer the phone from your coach, they yell at you? You know, how likely are you to keep answering the phone?
And the person you're challenging has to be open to being challenged.
Which is why you asked the question
up front, because a challenge and accountability, when you're not open to it, feels like an attack. Mm-hmm. It feels like someone's just yelling at you because you're not in a space where it's something you want.
Yeah. So do some people, you challenge them because you know they voice to you that they are open to being challenged and to being held accountable, and other people who you kind of know maybe they're not like there yet, do you kind of pull back?
I think if you just ask, it's always going to be a yes. Mm-hmm. No one's going to say, actually, you know what? I was thinking about, I really want weak leadership. I really want this shit to fall apart. No one's going to say that. But they got to know. You say, okay, then I'm telling you up front. I'm going to hold you accountable. This is what I expect from you. And if that's not what you're doing, I'm going to push you. That's my job. Mm-hmm. You know, you may not always like it, but who else is in your corner rooting for you? The way that I am telling you deserve more. You know, so that's number one. They got to know you care.
Yes.
By the way, they know you care by you showing them, not you just telling them. You know, you got to show them. When you call them and challenge them, you got to encourage them. You got to praise them. You got to recognize them. Hey, come on, Ronnie. Let me tell you why I know you could do this. You're underperforming. You're better than that. Why are you at freaking 0, dude? You're telling me so-and-so's better than you at the business? Because I know they're not. I've seen you on appointments. I've heard you on the phone. I've seen the way you interact with people. There's no reason you should be at 0. All it means is that you're not focused. It tells me that your energy every day is going somewhere else. That's why you're at 0 here. Your numbers are not a reflection of your capability and of your talent. They're just a reflection of your focus. So let's freaking fix that crap. You know, that's how I challenge people always.
Yeah, no, I think that's perfect. And then you just adjust based off of personality.
Exactly. You challenge their numbers, not them as a person.
Yes, you never attack somebody as a person.
Right. Boom. That was a good point. All right, number 2.
Number 2, so you must be willing as a coach to do the thing that you're challenging your people to do. So
okay,
for example, if you're challenging somebody to go out and get 10 directs, I mean, it's got to be something that you are also willing to go out and challenge yourself to do and do that. Does that necessarily mean that you have to have 10 directs that month at the point that you challenge them? No, but you have to be willing to put in the same amount of effort that you're telling them that they need to do to get to the next level. Otherwise, it just feels like you're telling them to do that so that way you can benefit. Right. There's no moral authority if it's not something that you do.
You have to have credibility. Like the best walking advertisement for a fitness trainer is their own body. Mm-hmm. You know, someone looks and goes, dude, if you're willing to teach me, I want to look like you. Yeah. You know, so heck yeah, sign me up. So someone who's out recruiting every day, it's so easy to challenge. Why are you at 0? Why are you at 0? Come on, dude, I'm already at 4. Mm-hmm. I'm willing to do it. You got to do it too. Do it with me. But if you don't have credibility, I mean, the way that you challenge your team the best, some people get really offended and annoyed when their team doesn't listen to them. But if your team is outperforming you, how do you expect them to listen to you? You got to be whooping their butt. Yeah. You should be number 1 on all your leaders' bulletins. You should be number 1 on cash flow and points and recruits. I mean, I'm not number 1 in recruiting anymore because Elias is very hard to keep up with. In the whole company, he's top 10 in the whole company. Yeah. And I really don't even think he's trying. So I'm trying to keep up with him, but it challenges me. But I haven't had a 0. When's the last time we had a 0? It's been almost 6 years. Yeah. Since we had a freaking 0 in personal recruiting.
Do you think the team ever looks at you when you say, "Oh, you need to go out and get 3 directs this month"? Do you think they ever look at you and go, "Well, why don't you?" Nah. I actually remember like the last time that happened. It was like years ago.
What was that?
I can't remember. It was like during a training or something like that. They're like, "Oh, what about you? What are you gonna do?" And you're like, "Really? You're worried about me?"
I'm going to smack your ass is what I'm going to do. I'm going to beat you to the bottom of the scoreboard.
Just bringing it up is getting him a little like...
But here's why. Because when you... Here, the thing is that the reason that Dan is so effective in coaching us is not for half of a second have I ever felt like Dan needed me. Mm-hmm. That's what makes Dan so good. Dan will recruit every month. He'll go personally recruit like crazy. He's so good at it. It's effortless for him. So I've never felt like when Dan calls me, "Where you at? You guys hit BBC? Are you over 10?" I've never once felt like Dan needed me to go get one more recruit so that he could pay his bills. Right. Never once. And so as the leader, does your team feel like you need them? That's when you can't lead them anymore. Milet always says, if you need me, you can't lead me. And so if your team feels like you need them, that's why they don't listen to you. That's why they don't respect you.
Yeah, so getting results first.
Yeah, I don't think our team thinks we need them. I'll replace your ass so freaking quick. I go get directs like crazy. Yeah. But so that's where the power comes from.
So what would you say to somebody who, let's say them and their teammate, like their first teammate, second teammate, third teammate, they all started a business around the same time. So obviously they don't have that separation yet to be able to challenge. What would you say in that situation?
You got to put some numbers on the board. Mm-hmm. The How Successful People Lead by John Maxwell, or The 5 Levels of Leadership, if you want to read the long version, talks about the different levels of leadership, which is position is one of them. And that's the natural level of leadership that I have to Ronnie is that I'm her upline. So if I'm her upline, but we just started, that's the extent of my leadership. Well, I didn't earn that, and I have nothing to back that. I'm just her upline. That's your manager at your job. It's like they're not better at the job than you. They don't really make a whole lot more money than you, but they have a position, right? Right. So the way you start to build that respect is that you start to get numbers and results. That's the next level of leadership, is that people respect you because of what you've done, right? What you've been able to make happen. So your numbers do the talking for you. Now you start to have some authority. Then it's what you stand for and what you've done for them and who you are as a person and your ability to develop other levels of leadership. But you can't challenge anybody if you're at freaking 0.
Yeah, bottom line.
If you suck, you suck. And if you just got here, but you put numbers up and you start whooping some butt on people who've been here for a long time, you automatically have authority. Automatically. Because your numbers do the talking. Yep. So, cool. Number 3.
So, we always say this, right? The challenge, whatever challenge you're giving to your teammate, it's got to be something that stretches them and stretches their identity, because that's one of the whole purposes of actually doing this, right? To stretch their identity, to stretch what they feel like they deserve. So it has to be something that does that. It does stretch their identity. It challenges them a little bit, but still something realistic, something attainable, something that they're not automatically going to look at and go, oh, wait, there's no way I can do that. Because the second that thought pops in their head, you've already lost them. Like, they might verbally accept that challenge, but action-wise, they're not going to do it.
Right. So that type of a challenge, give some examples, Ronnie, because, we do a lot of calls with the team throughout the day, every day. And we don't necessarily challenge them on a monthly goal. Mm-hmm. We send out what we expect for the month, worst case scenario. But when you're having a call, you're going to call bang, bang. And it's 12 o'clock in the afternoon, BPM's tonight at 7. What kind of a challenge can you throw out?
It's like, hey, how many guests do you have for tonight?
I think everyone's going to bullshit you. I think I actually have about 3 confirmed right now.
All right. So there's, what'd you say? It's like 6 hours, 7 hours until BPM. All right. What would you say if I challenged you just to get 3 more? To invite 3 more.
3 real ones now.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah. Let's
all right.
Double that. I think it's something that you can do.
I don't know where I'm going to get them from.
All right. I think it's something that you can do. You just have to decide whether or not that's something you can work towards.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Okay.
Is that too high? Do you think 2? 2 is more attainable?
No, I think I could do 3.
3? Okay. Yeah. So what I want you to do is between now and then, the second you confirm somebody, I want you to shoot me over their name and their phone number.
Boom. You see that? That's the magic right there. Is that keep me updated as you go. Every time you get one, shoot me their name and their phone number. That's where the magic comes in. And then I'll be like, hey, and I need you to do me one last favor. Go on Tenacity's group me right now. And you tell all 250 people that you're going to have 3 guests by tonight. Can you do that?
Yeah, I can do that.
All right. And we're going to follow through because we're going to recognize you tonight at the BPM.
Yeah, and what does it do for their confidence when they hit that?
Dude, man, it's a skyrocket, you guys. That's the thing. That's the thing of a challenge, is that if it's attainable, but it stretches them, like Ronnie said, and they hit it, it's freaking game over in their head. They're like, oh, dude, I could do this every day. Mm-hmm. What the heck? You see that? So that's good. That was number 3. Number 4.
Number 4.
You got to get their buy-in. They got to own it. Well, how do we just make her own it right now?
Yeah, I said, is 3 attainable? Do you feel like that's something you can do?
Yeah, I could do that. Boom.
Do you
now
think 2
it's my
is easier?
idea.
Yeah. Do you think 2 is easier or 3 is good? It's a stretch, but it's still good.
I could do 3.
Okay, cool.
See, you see how it's my idea now?
Yeah.
Now I'm stuck with it.
And then he said, hey, I want you to go and group me and tell the rest of the team that you accepted this challenge.
Boom. Now there's team accountability. Because we're going to call on you tonight. We're going to put your ass on the spotlight on Zoom, and we're going to ask you how many guests you have.
I like to call it positive peer pressure.
Positive. And then if she doesn't have it, we don't go, well, everybody, here is the example of a failed challenge. A dud. And we don't freaking do that.
Why don't we do that?
Because all that does is crush the confidence. We go, hey, by the way, before I put her on spotlight, I'll know whether she has 3. Hey, how many did you get? How many did you get, Bang Bang? You got 2? All right, we're going to throw you on the spotlight right now. Get ready. Boom. Hey, I want to bring Sherry up. Sherry actually accepted a challenge earlier to have 3 guests. She didn't get 3. She got 2, but that's 2 more than she had before, and is 2 more than 98% of your asses. So congratulations to Sherry for freaking killing it. Good job.
Yeah, we never shame people.
No, positive reinforcement.
It's like accountability, but not shaming.
Right.
Yeah.
Because it's supposed to make them better, not discourage them. When you blast someone, people know that they suck at something. And when you remind them, they're already telling themselves that all day. And then you just reinforce it. Dude, all it does is kill them, man. And then they don't ever work again. They'll literally never do it again.
Yeah.
So that's number 4, getting their buy-in. Number 5 is contests. Utilizing contests. So I think that's something we're pretty good at.
Yeah, and for the most part, I believe that every office they'll have like monthly contests, or every 3 months you guys have a trip or a contest or something. You can utilize that stuff. You can utilize that and say, because sometimes people will work harder because they have some sort of incentive, right? Like, I know some of you guys do like shirts or jackets or hats or whatnot. Say, hey, like, I want to challenge you to get your 1 in 100 hat this month. And maybe they wouldn't do it for the money, but they'll do it for a hat. Right?
We had Sam Bakhtiar last week, right? And he talked about how people will go work out and drop the 20 pounds in 6 weeks for the 6-week challenge to get their money back. But when he was doing it for them for free, they wouldn't do it. And so it just goes to show you that people are not motivated by money or motivated necessarily by self-improvement. They're motivated by winning a contest. Mm-hmm. They're motivated by winning competition. Now, I'm motivated by whooping butt. I'm motivated by money.
Yes.
I'm motivated by being able to buy what I want and getting paid every Tuesday and Friday and being debt-free and being rich. That motivates me, but that doesn't motivate everybody. Mm-hmm. I'm also motivated by giving. I love to give things away. I love to buy people gifts. I love to do that stuff. That doesn't motivate everyone. But contests, if you have competitive people on your team, dude, it's the best thing ever.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's something you can do. Even if you're, newer in the business, you can say, hey, buy a book, buy a self-development book, buy a couple books and say, hey, this month, everybody who does this, like, I'm going to buy you, something small, right?
Right. Because people will grind for that.
Yeah.
They will literally risk. I mean, Charlier always tells us, because Charlier's background's in the military, and he says people will risk their life for ribbons and bows. Mm-hmm. They go to war and run into burning buildings and jump on grenades, for recognition and the ability to serve. And so I always tell people, Milet is big and buff. And I always tell people, I'm so competitive that if the winning prize was Milet is going to punch you in the face, I'm going to freaking win. Because I want to win.
He just wants to win the prize.
I just want to win, And so if they're like, hey, number one in personal recruiting is going to get punched in the face by Milet's 40-inch arms, I'm like, I'm freaking in, because I just want to win. That's the power of a contest. Yeah. So that's contest. And the last one, utilize team challenges. I think we've mentioned this in a previous episode. I'm not 100% sure. I just feel like we have. But utilize team challenges because... Yeah, we did this on how to build a team culture.
Yeah, because a lot of people, they won't do something, like you said, they won't do something just for the sake of, making myself money or getting better or anything, right? But they'll do something because they're part of a team goal.
Right.
And as a unit, they want to see their unit win. So they will go ahead. So, and this goes for anything, like charities, for example. They're like, hey, we want to save the whales. Now, but if I care about the whales, I'm going to look at that and go, okay, this is way too difficult of a task for me to handle on my own.
Right.
But if you said, hey, do you want to donate $1 to help save the whales? You're going to get a whole group of people.
There we go.
Because they feel like they're helping the whales, even though they, didn't leave the comfort of their own couch.
And it's also the fact that people sometimes don't ever think they're going to win. Mm-hmm. So you have people sitting around going like, dude, I just can't do what she does. Like, that's just not me. And they lack confidence. They'll never walk the stage at Vegas Convention. They'll never walk the stage at Wealth Bowl. But as a team, this is their way to win a championship. You got guys that will never, like the NBA starts tonight. You got guys that will never see a single minute of playing time, but they'll still get rings this year because they're a part of the team.
Yeah.
And so team challenges is, if you could develop the team culture, team challenges could take you all the way to the top.
Yeah, and that's how you start to do it, which is the other episode, right? That's how you start to do it.
How to build a team
even
culture.
If there's 3 people, right, on your team.
That's when you have to start the culture, by the way, is when there's 3. It's hard to go back and rewind and start over once you have 100 people.
Exactly. So you start with a challenge, again, that's attainable, but still stretches you guys a little bit, and you keep going. You keep doing it. And you do that forever, by the way.
Every month, right?
Yeah.
How often do we have a team challenge or a team contest?
I mean, every month.
Every month. We're going to have a good one for August.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but it's up to you. You guys know your team culture. One time I took a survey in office and I said, hey, and it surprised me. I said, raise your hand if you like contests that are swag, hats, jackets, polos, button-ups, things like that. Raise your hand if you like excursions, like going to a dinner, going to bowling, right? Team like
going to spread the coronavirus.
Different, and I just took a poll, right? And I found out a lot of people are, quality time people. They would rather, go to dinner or go to Disneyland or something like that. Now you can't do that right now, but you can kind of gauge the culture of your team and see what excites the majority of them, what fires them up.
Yep, and they wear all their team swag to those excursions.
Hey, yeah, Mario Bayona told us this once, or was it Mario? Yeah, he told us this once. If you ever want to dress your team because you just look at them and they're that not that fashionable, team gear contest, just dress them.
But people want to be a part of something.
Yeah.
So that's how you challenge your team, you guys. That's how you challenge your team. Practice this. Mm-hmm. This is something that Ronnie and I are working on constantly because we constantly get recruits. And so we're just like, hey, you don't want to work? All right, cool. Let me know if you want to work later. Mm-hmm. But now we're focusing on challenging them, pushing them. Some people need to be pushed. Yeah. They need to know you believe in them and they need to be pushed.
Yeah, it shows you care.
And they'll never work until you push them.
Yes.
So, all right, you guys.
Yes. Thank you guys. If you haven't checked out our interview, our very first and only interview that we did, that was our last episode number 35. As you guys know, this was not intended to be kind of an interview type of a podcast,
right?
But we couldn't pass up the opportunity to interview Sam Bakhtiar.
Also, if you watch Sam's going to drop an episode, I don't know exactly when, of him doing an interview with us as well.
Yeah, so
check that out. And so if you want to see that, you're more than welcome to go check that out.
And then as always, as you said, recommendations, leave them in the comments on YouTube. That's where we keep track of them all. And, we'll try to get to them as we go on. But thank you guys so much. We appreciate you. And hopefully this helps.
All right, we're out.